Hello, good morning. I hope that you're all well and that you've had a good week. I've had a very busy week, not just with Hands Across the Sea samplers, but with our home as well. Yesterday, the scaffolding came down after just 2 or 3 days short of 6 months. It's just wonderful how the light flooded back into our home. It was a long haul, our roof being done. They do have to come back and finish our veranda roof, but they can't do that until the veranda is actually replaced. We're having it replaced in European oak, and that should start at the middle of June. The original start date was the 1st of April, but that was a Cornish start date. We knew that wasn't going to happen then, but hopefully it will happen middle of June. Monday, the builders are coming back into this studio to finish off the large shelf unit I've had installed on that wall above my sewing machine that will hold all my sewing spools, and I'm hoping that in my video next weekend I can show you the completed unit. We shall see. They were meant to come back at the beginning of this month and they didn't turn up. Okay, so I've been very busy on different projects, and I was doing a project for the house that it was nothing to do with Hands Across the Sea samplers, and it required me to use a lot of pressure on my fingers for a long period of time, and all my fingertips are bruised, or when I say all, these fingertips are all bruised. I couldn't possibly hand sew or stitch at the moment. I just can't hold a needle. Hope they heal quickly, because I'm desperate to get back at my stitching. I'm in the middle of a sampler that I want to get finished off. It's a beautiful one. I've started to unpack from my trip to Tasmania, and I couldn't possibly show you all the presents I've received. There were just so many of them, and each and every one is beautiful, and I'm unpacking them slowly and savouring them and finding places for them to go in my home. I've got to rearrange my display cabinet that holds all my little handmade treasures that needleworkers have given me over the years. But what I am going to show you today is some of the things that I bought whilst I was in Tasmania. Now, Carolyn had arranged for Timbu shaker boxes to be at the event, and they had a big display table full of their products, and they all went. We were like piranhas at that table. What I bought was something that I've wanted for a very long time, and that was a super large shaker box. Shaker boxes are so handy. They're useful, they're practical, and they're also very decorative. And I've wanted one of these really big ones for such a long time. The smell of the wood is divine. I don't know what product they use, but it really smells fabulous. Okay, so when you lift the lid off, the lid becomes like a working tray. And what I was thinking of doing with this one is using some stitching to line the tray. And I'm going to line the tray with a padded base so that it will act almost like a grab tray for threads and needles. I thought that would be very useful. I'm going to have to make the inset just slightly smaller so that when I put the lid back on the top of the shaker box, there will be a gap for the edge of the shaker box to sit in. What I love so much about this shaker box, not only because of its size and the wood that was used, was that it has the tray. Trays are so useful. I tend to take these all around the house, and you grab the handle and you go, and you've got everything that you need for a certain type of job. And I tend to have different shaker boxes with different craft tools in. So that's a lovely little tray that sits inside the box. And then this one has divided compartments in the bottom, and they're quite deep compartments that would be lovely for keeping my box organised and, you know, easy to see what I've got inside. Love this so much. And do you know, the pound, and I expect the dollar as well, is so strong against the Australian dollar that these were bargains. They really, really were. Very, very pleased with that. Okay, so what else did I buy from Timbu? Well, I went from large to small. Is this sweet little shaker box. And why I went for this was because it has this recessed lid so that you can add some stitching to the top. And when I add the stitching, I'm going to make it quite domed. I'm going to build up the layers to create a dome because I want this to act as a pin cushion. I think that will work very well. Timbo, T-I-M-B-O. Lovely. And then I bought this box from them as well. And what drew me to this box was this beautiful wood, and I can't remember the name of it, but I believe it was something that a wood that was native to Australia. It has a nice size compartment inside, and it comes with this lid, and it's meant to be that you cover this lid both sides with stitching, and when you fix the bottom stitching to the top stitching, you add a little fabric tab so that you can lift the lid out of the recessed setting. Looking forward to coming up with something for that. And then Timbu gifted me a box, and it's a musical shaker box, which I thought was adorable. And I love the tune as well. In Carolyn's shop, Carolyn has this display cabinet full of little treasures to tempt. And you all know I love my wooden boxes, and I bought these two boxes. What drew me was this beautiful sheen on the wood and this lovely sort of fretwork around. And this is like a photograph frame. You can take the back out and insert some stitching or a photograph. This is like a little glass top. And then you have like a little box, which you can use as a jewellery box, trinket box, or, you know, maybe store some spools. I might put some sewing bobbins in that. We shall see. And I bought the round one as well. As I said, the pound was so strong against the Australian dollar. Things were very inexpensive in the store. Now, I'm going to show you two gifts, and the reason why I'm going to show them is that this pin cushion has a fabric panel of a Stitch in Time Saves 9, which was an exclusive that we did for a Stitch in Time, and Carolyn does still have the charts available. Carolyn had two different size fabric panels from me featuring the little design. With the large one, she insetted into a project bag, but with the small one, she made this lovely mattress pin cushion. And when I saw it, I fell in love with it. She doesn't sell the pin cushion, she sells the panels, but she had these made up to demonstrate what you could do with them. And I have drooled over this since I saw it. And she gifted it to me, which is lovely. I love mattress pin cushions. Well, I love pin cushions of any size. This is my pin cushion that I made with the small fabric panel from Elizabeth Stevenson. I took it right down to the edge. I didn't use this part of it, but you could make a pin cushion using the frame around the sampler. And just a reminder that this is the very last day that you can order Queen of the May if you're a Friends of Hands Across the Sea samplers and qualify for the free fabric panels. If you are a friend of Hands Across the Sea Samplers and you want to order the booklet for Elizabeth Stevenson and get the complimentary panels, you have to go through the special link in the Facebook group. That special link takes you to a product that includes the fabric panels. If you just go to our website and go on to Elizabeth Stevens, that is not the same product. That doesn't come with the fabric panels. So today's the last day for those fabric panels. Not the last day for the chart. That chart will be available indefinitely. What's been really lovely about Elizabeth Stevenson is seeing how many people have started her already and made very, very good progress. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to show you is this book. And it is Patchwork Prisoners, the Raj Quilt and the Women Who Made It. When I was in Tasmania, I would dearly have loved to go on to the female factory where the female convicts were housed and worked, or imprisoned, maybe, I don't know, that might be the better word. I couldn't because it was important to me that on the Wednesday and Thursday before the event started that I was around the hotel to spend time with attendees. But one of the attendees very kindly got me this book so that I can read about the Raj quilt and, you know, needlework with the female convicts and to learn about them. It's very important that we learn about the past. It helps us, it helps make us better people, and it helps us going forward in a good way. We learn from the past. When Linda and I go back in 2027, and we're going to go for some extra time so that we can have, say, maybe the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for sightseeing around Tasmania. Hobart was such a beautiful place, and there is so much to see and do there. I can't wait. There we go. Okay, so just to recap as well about Elizabeth Stevenson, today is the last day to order the fabric panels to create the project bags for Elizabeth. It's the last day of May and this design will be retired. So many people have ordered them, and following my how-to video last weekend, it's been really pleasing to receive lots of emails with finishes. People have been successfully finishing their project bag. It's not difficult. If you haven't watched the how-to video, please go along and have a look. I know it's a little bit long, but I wanted to do that video not for people who know how to make a project bag, but for people who didn't. And I could have done it very rushed and made it a short video, but if you don't know how to do something, it's nice that each step is explained properly. Now, I did forget to explain one thing. At the beginning of the video, I talk about that you can still add the binding, you can still make the project bag without a quilter's foot if you don't have one for your sewing machine. And when I got to the binding, I forgot to include that. And basically, all you do with the binding, if you don't have a quilter's 1/4 inch foot, is you take a ruler and a pen and you mark a line 1/4 inches in from the edge, and that is the line that you sew along. So if you're not a quilter, you can improvise to add that binding to your quilt. Okay, talking of project bags, I've made various different project bags from the patriotic panel that we have available until the 4th of July, then the design will be retired. You can only make one complete project bag out of each panel, but you can do it in so many different ways. There are lots of options how you use the individual panels to make up your project bag. I'm not sure which is my favourite. I do love this, but I also love that very much. I love this fabric. really do. Be interesting to see how people start to make theirs up. The first fabric shipment is due to arrive in the middle of the week coming, and I will get them shipped out as quickly as possible. With fabric panels, they're printed to order, so there's a 7 to 14 day turnaround from the time you place your order to the time that they're shipped. When fabric arrives, I always make it my main priority to cut and ship to get it out to you as quickly as possible. So those are available on my website now up until the 4th of July, and they celebrate America's independence. I love America. It's a country that I could so easily live in, but which part I don't know, because everywhere I've gone has been lovely, really lovely. This week, talking of America, this week I have arranged to do something on my bucket list, and this has been on my bucket list for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. At the end of November, I'm going to New York for 2 nights to spend some time with my dear friend Krista. And it's going to be a late celebration of her birthday, which is October. And the tickets for the Rockettes Christmas Spectacular have just become available. And we've got our tickets to go and see the Christmas Spectacular. I am so excited about that. It's something that I've wanted to do for such a long time. And as the years have ticked on, I thought it's one of those things on my bucket list that I'm not going to achieve. But if all goes to plan, I will be achieving it at the end of November. It sounds, I don't know, maybe a little silly just to go to New York for 2 nights, but yeah, why not? Why not? We're a long time dead. If we don't do the things that we want to do when we can do them, we're never going to do them. I think it's really important at the end of life you have no regrets, that you did everything that you wanted to. One of the things that is on my bucket list is to go to India. I've always, since a child, since a teenager, have wanted to go to India. Ray, it's never appealed to Ray. He's been to most places around the world. Anyway, he did say that it was fine for me to go on one of the needlework tours to India, and I was going to book it for next year. It was the tea planters tour that took in the Hertfordshire embroidery that really appealed to me, but I'm just holding off just to make sure that everything's stable in that country before I book it. That would be wonderful if I could go on that tour. Anyway, okay, I'm sorry there's no stitching to show you this week. Maybe next weekend there will be. I'm waiting for some samplers to come that I've purchased. One in particular is very exciting. That might come in the week and I might be able to show it to you next weekend. Okay, until next weekend, stay well, stay safe. Bye-bye.